So here is the PIKO range of TT scale models for 2025 coming up in this video. Europe has long embraced TT scale, and while Hornby's TT120 is still relatively new and UK TT scale isn't nearly as established yet, there's plenty choice when it comes to models from the established brands in Europe. PIKO is one of them and has committed to expanding the TT range recently. This year they have announced a range of new models which we're going to take a look at here. Before we begin, I'll just mention that I'm not paid by PIKO or anyone else to do this video, and I don't have any affiliate links affecting my impartiality. So shop around for the best prices, and let's get stuck into what's coming in TT scale for 2025 from PIKO. I think everybody thinks warmly of the KPEV, and this is an 080 locomotive from Era 1 with bags of character, and presented here in the dark green and red. It features an X18 decoder socket, although this is just being offered in analog at the moment. It is actually also close coupled between loco and engine and has directional lights. A really lovely model to start with and coming in around £220. So we started at Era 1, now Era 2 we have the huge 282 tank engine. This is the BR93 from the DRG, and what a beast this is, a very chunky machine with excellent detailed fine valve gear. This one also has cab lighting as well as the usual features. A bit more expensive at £250, but a great model there. Another massive tank engine, this time the DB BR62 from Era 3 with a 464 wheel arrangement. Look at the details on the boiler and the incredible amount of fine moulding in the red area. Absolutely wonderful this one, and you can actually get this in analog or digital, and it adds firebox flicker to the feature set. £260 for analog here and £370 if you want digital with sound as standard. There's also going to be a DR version of this locomotive coming out this year too, so stay tuned for that. Into diesels with this DB BR290. I'm sure this will be available in all manner of livery options, but here in the maroon with cream lining. This one changes to Plux 16 DCC interface, but it is being offered as a DC analog DCC ready version for around £150. Now we saw this announced for HO scale already from PIKO, and here it is in TT scale too. It's a big old loco and comes with the same feature set. Analog only, it's priced at around £140, which is interesting because the HO version of this was around the £100 mark, so this is £40 more for some reason. This model is also going to be released as the preserved BR119 as well, in its current museum specification as preserved. There'll be more on that later in the year. Another model being released in both TT and HO scale this year is the EBS BR312 shunter. This is pretty small in TT scale at 66mm, so it may have pickup issues, but it does have directional lights and cab lighting. Priced at around £150, it's about £10 more than the HO version. With Plux 22 now, it's the DB Cargo BR247 diesel loco from Era 6. Obviously in the Vectron range, and you can imagine some bi-mode and electric locos coming along soon, but for now we're offered this one in plain DB red. We'll stick with the DB AG for now as we move into electric locos, and this EMU is first, the BR442 two-car DMU from Era 6. A handy model for passenger services on smaller layouts. This features directional lights as well as full interior lighting. Price here is around £220. Now I'm not keen on this livery, the so-called D-ticket style, as I think it looks a little stuck on. I don't know, it just doesn't appeal. Also the pantographs don't look that great on this Taurus. However, you can't argue at the price, being under £100 for this. Other liveries are available though. By contrast, this looks good though. The CD Cargo RH242 in Era 6 specification. This model has rather neatly presented engine room details, which you can see through the side windows, and it has much finer pantographs. Directional lights too, and an X18 decoder socket, all for around £200. This will also be coming out in CSD livery as well this year, so more on that when we're shown the model. A classic slab-sided loco now from the DR. Back in Era 4 time, this is the BR243, and a model that is very good, and it even has really tiny separately attached windscreen wipers. There are different liveries of this model, but if this one appeals to you, then there's two options for you. Analog DC for around £180, or digital sound fitted for £100 more. Now these look really good, I love the windows on them. Still being used in Era 6, this RH240 is in the CD Cargo livery. Lots to love here, and priced at around £225. This will also be available in its earlier Era 5 RH230 variation with the Kokoliv Kamikokoliv blue livery too, so again, more on that later in the year. And I've probably pronounced that incorrectly as well. Hey, I told you there'd be a different variant of the Vectron, and here it is in the EU46 variant from PKP Cargo. Price on this variant is around £180. So a great selection of locomotives there, and coming up now is the new wagons in TT scale, starting with the DR flat wagon, fitted here with two 20-foot DSR containers representing the wagon from Era 4. Just a new livery and number option on this, and priced around £35. A pound cheaper gets you the same wagon in the CD numbering and colour with a single 40-foot Intrans container. And finally this variant with two kind of engineers yellow containers, and it's £1 more expensive for some reason. Next it's the VTG type UCS-V cement silo wagon from Era 5. I like the handrails all over this and the little extra pieces. It's now up to £38, but it is a nice little wagon. We had a KPEV locomotive at the start of the video, and here is a wagon to go with it. The Era 1 KPEV box van. A simple model, it's been out before, but new numbering on this one for a price of £36. And there's a version with a brakeman's cab too, for the same price. I don't think you could get things quite so different as we leap forward to Era 6 for the VTG Bogie chemical tank wagon. Love the chrome effect here and all the extra parts added to this model. Price here is around £46. And you can also get it in the GATX livery, which is a more satin silver colour, a bit more toned down but still equally impressive, and it's the same price. And of course there's a hopper wagon, the very common type FALNS side discharge hopper wagon, this one from RBH in Era 6 specification. Just a different running number really to match with previously released hoppers. This one is priced at around £45. So that was it so far, and there's more to come through the year. Notable here was there were no coaches announced, so I'm sure there'll be some coming soon, so don't forget to subscribe to keep yourself up to date, and I'll see you on the next video.